I was told that's probably like the hardest part of real estate. How did you get into developing, and how does somebody go about getting into developing?
I was able to buy parcels of land for really cheap, about $6 to $12 per square foot.
So you bought at $6
per square foot.
per square foot.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
and under actually.
Welcome back to another great episode of the Millionaire Essentials podcast. I'm one of your co-hosts, Brandon the Provider.
Yes, sir. And it's Tevin Facey. And guess what, guys? We have the one, the only, Deonte Chantel.
Hey guys, how are you?
What's going on, Deonte? How you doing?
Great. Thank you for having me. I'm honored to be here.
Oh, well, we're honored to have you in our presence. So thank you. You know, she is I'll let you explain who you are, because I know you're a real estate developer, real estate investor. So give the people a brief synopsis of who you are.
Hello, everyone. I'm Deonte Chantel. I am a real estate developer, investor out of America, let's just say, because we're taking over right now.
Oh, that's
by the
amazing.
grace of God. We're located in New Jersey. We are uplifting our community. We're bringing affordable housing solutions, and we're also mentoring our people to become real estate developers as well.
That's amazing.
So you're one of the few, but I see up and coming a lot as more prevalent. Maybe because my eye is open now. Few women, successful women developers that I've seen. And since I've paid attention to you, I see a lot more for some reason. So you being a woman developer, a black woman developer, even more of a smaller pool, how has that been? How has your journey been?
It's been very interesting. I've went through ups and downs. I had to start over at zero.
And that's I was literally about to ask you that next.
Yeah.
So can you break down your story from the beginning? Because I know of your story, but let the audience know.
Okay.
In a quick synopsis.
She made a face. She made a little face.
Like, did I answer the first question? I don't even know. But for the most part, I've been an entrepreneur full time since like 2017. Initially, I was laid off from my last job. Within like 3 weeks of even getting laid off from that job, I made like $30K as a wholesaler. And I just never looked back. I knew I wanted to be a real estate developer. Probably about 4 years prior to that, I knew I wanted to build container homes and rebuild Newark. I knew Newark was going to be the next Brooklyn. So I had a knowing of a lot that was about to come, and I wanted to be a part of the change. And ultimately, I was able to partner with individuals, leverage their experience, bring value to people, okay? And I ultimately got the opportunity to work with the city of Newark and the city of East Orange, and I became a designated developer. So that's how I actually got into the actual development space. We finished out that project collectively, I believe, 2023. We built 10 units, 5 homes with the cities, and now we're off to other and bigger projects throughout the Midwest, Chicago, and we're doing some more in Newark as well. So I hope I answered that question, because I felt like it was like a two-part.
So now you definitely did. So you're originally from where? From Newark, Newark or
I
New
was
York?
born in Brooklyn.
Born in Brooklyn.
Kings County Hospital.
BK.
Okay. When I was about 13, my mother moved me to Newark.
You had checked on everything, right? Because you was born in Kings County. You checked on everything after you was born.
So Kings County is a good hospital, bro.
Anyways,
Kings County is not a bad hospital.
We ain't gonna talk about hospitals right
exactly.
now. Because I just went through a whole crisis, literally. But everything is fine. I have all my marbles. My mother moved me out to from Brooklyn. We went to Atlanta briefly, and then when she tried to come back, she could not afford to live in Brooklyn. We had government housing, and she lost her voucher, so the only place we could afford was Newark, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, Mom, why the heck would you move me to Newark, New Jersey?
It was crazy during those times.
It was crazy. Newark was crazy. So I've kind of been around the New Jersey area. But the reason why I even brought up Newark is because I just knew that Newark was going to be the next Brooklyn. And we're literally living in that right now. We're selling, $900 million homes on number blocks in the worst parts of Newark. So I knew that this gentrification, this beautification would come overall. So now it's like, okay, let's make sure the legacy tenants don't get priced out like I did out of Brooklyn. So the mayor has put together great initiatives, other developers, where we're trying our best to build affordable housing solutions, but we also were trying to beautify the neighborhood at the same time. So it's coming together. It's working out. Newark is the most hottest market right now, you know, based on proximity to New York City. Even East Orange is even better, in my opinion. Proximity to New York City within 25 minutes, right to Midtown. A win is a win, right?
Yeah, whether it's car or train. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's by train, by the way. So
Yeah, even by car, you can get to New York City in 25 minutes.
yeah, so it's the new hotspot. It's an emerging market that a lot of investors for the last 10 years or so have been dumping billions of dollars into. So it's good to be a part of the transactions.
So what you specialize in, which is crazy, is developing, right? So what a lot of us, or what I was told first getting into real estate, you know, buy a property, FHA, house hack, you know, and keep going on there, getting some more doors, rentals. But you put your foot in foundation in developing specifically. I was told that's probably like the hardest part of real estate.
Yeah.
So how did you get into developing, and how does somebody go about getting into developing?
Yeah, so everybody's journey is different. I didn't start, you know, with this house and this unit. I just got started. I saw the opportunity. I knew it was opportunity, and I applied, right? So essentially, I was able to buy parcels of land for really cheap, about $6 to $12 per square foot, from the city of Newark. So that allowed me to come in with very little money. So if I'm buying,
So you bought at $6
per square foot.
per square foot.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
and under, actually. So for instance, if you're coming into a project and the land is worth $150K and you're only getting it for $10,000, there's so much equity built into that project already. So you have room for leveraging. You have room for mistakes if God forbid, there is a mistake.
Let's not glance past that. How are you able to do that?
Okay.
Because people are going to ask.
Yes, I got
Okay.
y'all. I'm not going to gatekeep, because last time y'all tried to call me a gatekeeper on the other podcast.
Oh, I was about to say, wait, what? Okay.
No, so what I personally had to do was they had a RFP, which is a request for proposal. And they were looking for minority and women developers at the time. I'm a minority. I'm a female. I applied. I wrote a real estate proposal. In that proposal, I had to showcase myself as a developer or investor. At the time, I had no ground up experience at all. None of my partners did either, except for partners that I added on my team. So in this case, I had no experience. So how did I create a team with partners with experience? I literally partnered or added a modular company to my real estate proposal. My ex-partner at the time, who was also my ex-fiance, don't even ask.
I ain't doing nothing. I'm sitting right here.
Shout out to him, because he probably gonna watch this. But he was a general contractor.
Wait, not shout out to him. No, my fault.
He was a general contractor, and I also became a licensed contractor too. So
He was really working hard out there.
yeah, we was out here. You know, we was just literally faithing it until we made it. The city didn't want to work with me at first because they're like, you don't have no experience. Your partner, which was another female, she was very well versed in rehabs, but no new construction.
Development.
Yeah, no ground up construction. So they really didn't want to work with us. But somehow, some way, we had business consultants that advocated for us. And I told them, like, listen, if I don't do it here, I'm going to go do it in another region. And I meant that. And I kept on pushing in their face, I'm going to do it in Kansas City. And they was like, all right, we're going to give you a shot. They was only supposed to give us one lot. They wound up giving us 8. Me and my partner, the female, we separated. And I walked away with 3. And she let her keep the 5.
Wow.
Okay. And the East Orange deal, I paid my own money. And I wound up keeping those 2. So she had 5, I had 5. But make a long story short, how you would get started is you would write a proposal. You would put a power team together. So even if you don't have experience, make sure the people that you add to your proposal have the experience.
What does that team look like?
So that team looks like, in my case, it was the modular company. They had like over 40 years of experience. So guess what? I leveraged that
experience.
Yeah. So experience, I leveraged their experience. An architect that has experience as well. My architect has about 20 plus years of experience.
And in that same county, correct?
In Essex County, New Jersey,
Yes.
specifically, yeah. You don't want to just use a random architect. They should be doing packets for that particular city, not even the county.
Right, city.
They should have relationships in that municipality so your plans don't get denied and they know who to call if it does. We also had a really good attorney who I still use. Realtor, I was the realtor at the time also, so I didn't really need that. But those are the main things. Your architect, your builder, aka
yeah, I was gonna say builder too, right?
yeah. So in this case, the modular company was the builder.
Okay.
But in real time, you do need a competent builder. You have to vet these builders so you're not getting conned out here. And I know you're going to ask me, how do you vet a builder? There's 3 ways I vet a builder.
Okay.
The main 3 ways I would vet a builder is they have to be licensed in that state. They have to be insured. And the third is they have to be bonded. They have to be eligible to take out a surety bond for your project. And I know you're like, what the heck is a surety bond? It's actually a performance bond. So it's typically like a performance insurance. Mm-hmm. So if they don't perform, you get to recoup your money back without even suing them in court. You can go file a suit within the surety bonding company. They're either going to make them hurry up the process, give you back your money.
Right.
They're either going to make them speed up the process to get the work done, because even if they're behind schedule, you can still go after them. Because once you're about 30 days behind schedule on your project, your budget is
blown.
It's blown. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, because we hear all these horror stories of contractors, builders, and then when you bring somebody else in, they want to start from scratch. So you got the same budget. You got to do a whole nother same budget. So this is your security.
Yeah, that surety bond is your security, and you don't have to pay for it, but your builder does. Yes, he's going to charge you more money, but that's okay. At least
you have security.
You have security. In most cases, if you're building in Essex County, these homes are going to cost you at minimum $500,000 to build. So you have to protect that asset, your money, your livelihood, right? Because your social is attached to it. So I would definitely make sure that they are bondable. A lot of builders and GCs are not actually bondable because their paperwork is trash. But recently, the state of New Jersey is making, you can't just become a GC anymore.
Yeah, you have to take a test now, right?
You have to take a test and you have to be bonded. Mm-hmm. So now, depending on your project amount size, if they don't qualify on their end to take over your project, you just don't hire them. So let's say they're only bonded for $300K and your project costs $500,000. Okay.
You need to be bonded for 500.
Right.
Yeah, because just in case you lose your money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something that newbies should. These are the questions they should be asking when they're vetting. This is what I teach, and it's it's mandatory at this point.
Wow. Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, definitely a lot to unpack within that, right? Because you're talking about RFPs, right? You're talking about just writing a request. You're talking about acquiring the land. You're talking about building. Like, there's a lot, of course, inside of this real estate journey, right? That you're taking them along. What did you focus on, right? In order for you to get your first plot of land, what was your main focus? Like, what do you feel like you had to do specifically that got you to where you were at, that you knew that you were going to get approved?
I had to have faith because I got a lot of no's.
Right.
So even when I didn't have the money I don't even think I had the money to buy the land, to be honest with y'all. But I didn't care. I'm like,
right,
we're coming to this closing. Are you going to, or, we want to buy this land. So even when I didn't have it all figured out.
Yeah. So you basically did this and you had no money.
Okay. Yeah. There was times where I had no money. Even when it was time to build out the project, I had no money.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
But my story is unique, and I talked about it on a couple of other podcasts, and I'm gonna say it again here. So from the time I closed with East Orange, I bought those parcels of land. They were like $4,500 each. Like a year went by, COVID happened, a lot happened. I separated. Everybody that was on my team was gone.
Right.
Like I literally stopped messing with the lady. I stopped messing with my ex-fiance. Everybody had to go. Okay. Now, I sold some assets. I paid off debts, and then I was back to zero. Literally, my architect. And this is why building relationships with people is very important. My architect was like, "I'm gonna help you find a builder," because he didn't want me to use the modular company. So he was like, "I'm gonna help you find a builder." He knew a lot of builders because he's like the OG architect. So one of the people that he knew, and I'm not gonna name drop here, but it is a celebrity, and he's like, "You need to come to this groundbreaking because there's gonna be a bunch of builders there." Well, guess what, y'all? I felt like such a failure. I didn't go. I didn't care who was gonna be there. I'm not going. I was facing depression. Like I just was not equipped mentally to be in a groundbreaking ceremony with a celebrity, with builders, with people that could actually help me. But make a long story short, I didn't show up. And
So that's a lesson right there.
Yeah, I didn't
right?
show up
Obviously,
for myself.
Yeah,
Right.
show up for yourself.
And he called me like, "Listen, hey, I wanted you to come so I could introduce you to people." So I didn't go. Make a long story short, I happened to start seeing the pictures online on Instagram, and it was like this. God literally was like, "Contact the builder." I contacted the builder, and I'm like, "Listen, I got this project. It has this equity built into it. We can make this amount of money together." Woo, woo, woo. And his son contacted me. We set up a meeting, and the rest was history. He literally partnered with me to get this project done. So it was because I truly had a deal with equity built into it,
Right.
that made him want to do the project with me. If I had an over leveraged deal and the numbers didn't make sense, he wouldn't have done that project with me.
Right.
And then I probably would have got foreclosed on.
By the city of Newark.
The city of Newark
and East Orange.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, so you'd have been
So
blackballed twice.
one thing you said was when you first got started, right? Was I think a lot of us, it goes over our heads. We think, there's no opportunity out here for us, right? There's no solutions out here for us. But you were able to work with the city because of knowing how to write grants and proposals.
Yes.
Did you have your MWBE?
At the time, I did not.
And what's the MWBE?
So it's that
For the audience.
Minority Women Business Enterprise.
Yes.
I didn't, but
So you can get certified.
Right. So with Newark and a lot of urban cities around America, they do want you to have it.
Yes.
Like Chicago, it's like mandatory. Philly is mandatory. And I can only speak to it because I'm designated in those cities too.
Yeah.
Newark, if they see that you're black on the proposal, they'll let you slide. But they are going to encourage you to go get it. They even have workshops for you to get it for free. So if you're in New Jersey and you're a business owner, right now, since the COVID mandate, they waived all the applications. So it would typically be $100. It's free.
And they waived the application fees.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can in New Jersey. I don't know about New York and other places, but you can get it for free.
So the market like Newark specifically, a rising market, that's kind of going to look what Brooklyn is right now. Yeah. They have programs for minorities and women where you can get plots of land and develop on.
Yeah. Not for free, but yeah.
Not for free, but form a team together and you can actually, because from what I've heard, development is the most profitable side of real estate. Is that true?
Yes, you're getting up to 200% returns. Yeah, compared to a rehab. Yeah, the returns are much higher.
So we talk a lot about credit, a lot about funding, right? And this is why I always tell people, have a plan. Somebody like you had a plan together to execute, regardless of what you was going through, your ups and downs personally, you had a plan. Yes. So we help people access capital. So we help people get 100K, 200K, 300K, right? So let's just say we're able to get somebody 100, 150K of business credit. Where can that business funding take them to develop in some place like Newark?
Yeah. Well, if you're going through the city of Newark, if you're going through this RFP process program, which throughout the state, there's about 7 to 10 different cities you can actually do a RFP with and get discounted land with. So I just want to put that out there. So y'all come see me if y'all need help with that. But so let's say we're using the Newark Land Bank, because they do have a land bank, and or you're buying parcels of land from the city of Newark, which is two different programs. The city of Newark, they're going to sell you the land for about $12 per square foot. Each parcel of land is about, we'll say 2,500, 3,000 square feet. So let's just use 3,000. So $12 times 3,000 is $36,000. These actual parcels of land are worth $200,000 right now.
Right now, they going crazy.
So hold on.
Per lot.
Yeah.
So you can actually flip the lot if you need it?
I mean, I am not going to tell you guys to flip any land here, because you're not about to come after me. But potentially, yeah, you could. But they don't. They have contracts in place where they're telling you cannot.
You have to develop on it.
But what you would want to do is partner with a builder, partner with someone that actually has the capital to help you build out the project, whether that's credit partner, funding partner, equity partner, whatever, to build out these projects. So in this case, we get the $150K. You should have enough money to buy that $36,000 lot.
Okay.
You also will need about $35,000 to about $50,000 for soft costs, pre-development costs.
Okay.
So now, where you at? About $90K.
Around.
Right. The next phase, the first phase of the project, you're gonna need money to start actually doing the site work and the excavation and getting your plans done. Of course. Well, no, soft cost covers the plans, but the phase one would be your excavation and your actual site work. So you can start building the house. So that 150 would cover all of that. You could probably get it all done for maybe $100K. But just to be realistic, you would need about like the 80 to 100K to get started on a project. Yeah.
So,
and I'm sorry, hold that thought. Some lenders will let you tap into the equity as well of the land. So there's some, very few. If it is worth 200K and they do an appraisal, some of them will let you pull the equity out of the land in order for you to use that money for your project as well. But they will require you to get your plans entitled first or approved with the city. Like the project should be shovel ready where you can actually start building the project.
So I know that's the front end, right? So am I getting a hard money loan or another lender to actually start building, or is that coming out of my pocket?
Yes. So you will get a bridge loan, hard money loan, private money loan, pretty much real estate funding to build out that project. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And they'll fund a good majority of it because it already has that value, correct?
For the most part, yes. What's happening is there's some lenders that will do 100% construction, that will also do 60% of the land. It all depends. Then there's some lenders that will tell you, hey, we're only going to give you 80% LTC, which is loan to cost. So they're only going to cover 80% of the entire project. So
which you would have to come with the 20%.
Right, you come with the 20%.
So now I came to Brandon and Tev. They got me the funding. I'm in this project. I'm currently in my building phases, right? What is the profit and strategy I'm looking at now to make money off this project?
Right, because you paid $36,000. You put
we're in about 150, 200 grand, right?
Yeah, 150. So what would be that process? Like what would the person look at during that build?
That's a great question. So, and you might have, is this going to be edited?
We got it.
Okay. Just ask the question one more time. Because I thought you said profit at first.
Yeah, profit.
Okay,
That's
you did say profit.
That's
Okay, then I heard process. I'm like, okay.
He did say process. Yeah, I said profit.
Just wanted to make sure. Yeah. I'm like, am I hearing things? Okay, so the profit in this case, these bridge loans are expensive. That's expensive money. So right now the rates are about 11.5%. So that's kind of high.
Right.
The good thing is the pre-development cost money, I think what you guys are doing are 100% APR, right?
No, 0%.
I'm sorry,
for the most part.
0%.
100% APR. Woo.
I ain't gonna hold
All right, let's start
you
over.
can make money off 100% APR. You
I ain't gonna lie. Yeah.
No.
So we try to get, mainly our goal is to get you 0%, the cheapest money possible, right?
Right.
But sometimes, we can have to get you market rate, depending on what you're looking for, line of credit, possibly 8%, 9%, depending on what the market rate is, 15%.
Yeah,
but let's just say we're getting 0%. That's the goal.
Hypothetically, if we're getting 0%, essentially that's your first business partner right there, right? You're leveraging the bank's money. great. As long as you can pay it back within the first, I guess, 12 months, 18 months, you're good. But that bridge loan, they're definitely going to charge you
Market, right?
11.5% interest. Okay. Typically, the terms are going to be for 9 months, or it might be 12 months. Some of them are 24 months. It all depends. So with that being said, I just want y'all to think about that. So we have 36K land. We have that 35 to 50K in the soft costs. Then we have the 20% down. Now, right now, Tevin's gonna help me calculate that. The cost to build, though, that's the thing I want to get to, is gonna be about 400 to 500K for a 2-family. Now, that 400K is really for a developer like me that has a team that we know our numbers, our budget. That 500K is probably for a person that's not really doing it. I've heard up to 700K. We ain't gonna go there right now. People are crazy out here.
Yeah, they going
It's contractor prices,
right?
Huh?
But you need to know what it costs to build. You need to do your research. You need to vet many builders.
Right.
Okay. So we'll just stop at the 500K.
Okay, so the 500, so that's $100,000 on the 20%
Exactly.
down payment.
Right. So you need to have allocated that 20%, and plus the soft costs, which you're getting from the business funding.
Yes.
Right.
And then you can also refinance the land, like you said, because
Exactly.
once you have the plans and proposals, then you can refinance the land.
Right. So then you take that money and then you can pay back the business funding.
Yep, and then
Gotcha.
you can
You know what I'm
reuse the
saying?
business funding and pay for the 20% down payment for the construction costs.
Exactly.
Oh,
Now-
that's key right there.
Right. So you got to know how to keep moving in the process. Now, the resale values are definitely $850. Okay, so $850,000. Some are selling for $900. So the spread between all of it is about $200. We'll say if you can get your construction costs down, it could be $250, but typically it's about $200K. That's the profit.
So you're looking at a 6-figure profit
Definitely.
during this process.
Definitely.
Got
Multi
you.
6-figure.
Yeah.
Multi 6-figure.
Yeah. Yep.
Even on a low end 6-figure.
Yeah,
Right.
basically.
Yep. So it's Newark area.
And
is
that's
a
if
great
you're
market.
getting it at that low price.
If you're getting it at that low price. Now, even if you're paying, now that's why I'm not buying nothing for $200K. Like, you can't. Right now, I'll go to another state before I buy anything for $200K in Newark, personally. But if you look at it, you still make a 6-figure profit.
Okay.
Definitely.
So that's what they mean while you make money on the buy.
you make money.
You have
on
to
the
buy at the
Yeah.
right
Right.
price.
Right.
Buying at the right price is key.
Yeah. So, yeah. To me, I know people buying stuff for $250,000 now, $250K, $270. I'm like, y'all crazy. But they will be able to make money.
It's just not
It's just
as
not.
much as...
It's not a guaranteed $200K.
And then also
You know?
the build, right? The build price takes some time
Yeah.
for you to understand and figure out. I know you got something that's going on right now that
Yeah, I do.
that nobody I've heard or even seen ever post about it, right?
Nobody?
Nobody.
Nobody?
Except for her.
Okay.
What I said.
What is
Like
it?
what
What
I
is
said.
it?
She's buying homes in Chicago for literally $1.
Yeah. So
Like literally it's $1, like per home.
well, it's per lot.
Oh, per lot.
Oh, $1 lot.
Yes.
So
All right, hold on.
I'm
Because we just say you make money on the buy.
right.
So you're buying a lot for $1.
I'm buying 5 parcels of land for $5.
All right, break that down.
Yeah.
Because I got $5 on me right now.
Right there.
Because I have $5 on me right
I
now.
literally called her and I said, "What do you need? I got $5 right now.
Listen.
If you need, I got it."
Break that down.
So I submitted a RFP. So here we go.
Request for proposal.
A request proposal. Literally the same proposal I submitted for Newark East Orange. Just change it to Chicago.
Oh yeah, shout out to her. She's gonna be helping me with mine. After I heard that, I said, "Nah, I gotta get some lots. We gotta get some lots for $5." Bro.
Yes.
So I heard that. I said, "Nah."
You got change for 100?
I
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I got singles right now.
But no, like $5 lots. Oh, $1 lots, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
So the city of Chicago had an RFP and I applied.
Right.
You do have to build a team in Chicago. We're currently revamping the team because, sometimes that happens. You can't work with everybody. However, This particular program, we will be building affordable home options, workforce development options. We will be hiring people from the city that live in the city, in the community, to work on a project. We are getting a $2 million grant to build the project as well. They gave us $150K.
This don't even sound right.
I got the proof. The news wanted to interview me for Monday morning, but I can't make it back there. But we literally won, and we're not the only winners. There's about 4 other winners. They're giving $150,000 per unit that you build. We're only going to do 12 units, so that's where it would be $1.8 million.
So this is where now this is very important, because when we talk about we don't have opportunity,
Like,
We do.
this is what people don't understand. A lot of these cities, especially urban communities, they need our help. They need professionals, business professionals like developers, to come in and revitalize the program. So when we talk about gentrification and this and that, they need us to come in and help build up these urban communities and help transform things. So there's dedicated money and funds to give out every year, to give to business professionals that are certified to help come in these communities and build up. So this is what Dionte is breaking down and explaining. And what she's special about her, she's cornered the market on how to access this capital.
Yes.
We help you access money institutionally. She's cornered the market on how to access capital through these different neighborhoods and urban communities to build up.
Yes. So there's tons of grant tax credit programs out there that the others are tapping into. They're not using their money. They're not. Now, there's money that they have to show. But at the end of the day, they're not really using their money. They're using the tax incentives. They're using the grants that these municipalities have and other third parties. There's tons of grants out there.
CDFIs, things like that too.
CDFIs. And they're getting these projects done. That's it. In our neighborhoods, sometimes you are making a lot of money. Sometimes you're not. So this affordable housing project, no, I'm not going to make $200K per build. I ain't gonna put the number out there, but I know it's to help my people become homeowners.
Right. And this is a marathon, so it's not only it's not about just the money right now.
Right.
You have that experience in your tool belt.
Yep.
You just came into Chicago, built all of this up. Now you can take this experience in your tool belt and go to other cities, other programs.
Yep.
So this is a marathon. So you're really building yourself as an entity to stand strong for the long haul.
Exactly. Yep. And that's exactly what's happening. One of the developers, he had to wait 20 years to get to this point.
Wow.
And he's from the city of Chicago. And now they just gave him a parcel of land to build a 50-unit building. So they want, like he said, they want us to come build. They want it to be us because they know we're passionate about rebuilding our communities and helping our people. These are our people that we're helping here. Right. And it doesn't always mean that it's low income, okay? This particular program, I can sell the property actually at the market rate. They have no issues with that. But I know that if I did that, the people in the community wouldn't be able to afford it. So we're going to be diving into other grants that are direct to buyer. We have allocated over I would say about $100K for funds for the buyer to get themselves in grants. To buy their house.
So each and every buyer, or is that just for the 5?
So depending on their income. Okay. So the income is not. I don't want you to think, oh, I can only make $20,000 a year, because some of them do be like that. The income levels are for one person for I think the $100K one. I think they can't make more than like $70,000. I'm like, that's great for one person income level. That's amazing. If I go on the higher end, the income level is they can't make over $110K.
Oh, wow.
One person. So now if you add on your family,
Yeah.
Not only does the price increase, now there's more affordability, and there is still grants available to them.
Gotcha.
So let's say that $110K income recipient, they would get $60K in grants. That's still money.
Yeah, that's still money that you can use towards your closing costs, your down payment. Like that's one of the main reasons why most Americans aren't able to buy, or just most people aren't able to buy in America because they don't have the down payment, nor do they have the closing.
Exactly.
And then sometimes they'll have enough for the closing, but they won't have enough for the down payment. So it's like they're stuck in a hard place. So it's now that you're able to even provide that, right? You're building and also able to provide that opportunity to get a grant to even buy this house.
Right.
I think that's simply amazing.
And I do want to add, like, there's other programs such as the NACA program, NACA.org or .com, whatever it is. They have programs where you can also buy dollar houses. They did a program with the city of Newark.
Yes, they did.
They're giving you so you enter a lottery, you win the dollar house, and they give you the rehab funds to rehab the project. And they do no money down. They don't look at your credit score, so they're not basing the loan on your credit.
Right.
And they're also doing low interest. So you can buy down your rates. Like, literally, there's people out there that have a 1% interest rate.
Yeah.
Right.
So many incentives. So don't ever feel like, oh, I can't enter home ownership. I can't do this. You can. You definitely can. Then they have the USDA program. Like, there's so many programs.
Especially FHA now, right?
So many.
FHA, you can buy a literally broken down house now.
Even land.
Yes, even land. You can buy with FHA a 3.5% down, and they'll defer the payments until you're done and complete with the project. Now you just
For
bought a
1 year.
house.
And that's when people out here saying there's no opportunities, no opportunity. And that's my question to you. It's a lot going on in the current economy. It's a lot going on in this current transition to presidency, right? I've seen a lot in the news lately about the affordable housing rules changing. I don't know if you've noticed that. Being that the migration that's going on right now to this presidency and this term, has there been a shift in everything that's going on in the money that's being put out there or the affordable housing situation? Have you seen anything affected?
Not yet. It's only been 30 days, right?
I mean, he's done a lot in that 30 days.
He's
done a lot in that 30
He
days.
came out swinging. However, one thing I will
Home
say,
runs.
it doesn't matter who's the president. Let me just put that out there. And I will publicly say this. I didn't vote for Kamala and I didn't vote for Trump.
Okay.
I didn't vote, okay? They both got issues. So,
Okay.
that's that. Y'all can take it how y'all want to take it.
Right.
However, one thing about our government, they're going to protect certain people always. The single mothers, the develop. I can't even talk right now. Let's start over if y'all got to edit this. But the single mothers, the developmentally delayed people, like people that are mentally ill, right? Whether they're autistic or they just have mental health issues, schizophrenia, whatever. They're going to protect children. So kids aging out of foster care. We got to talk about, I have a project doing that as well.
Right.
So they're going to protect certain people. There's always going to be money allocated. And of course, there's always going to be money for people re-entering society from, the justice
re-entry.
system,
Yep.
right? So as long as you're developing to fit the needs and provide housing solutions for those people, you're always going to be in business. You're always going to make money. If you're starting a nonprofit, that's a whole nother window. We're not even going there yet. There's so many different avenues to be a developer, investor in real estate. Real estate is everything. That's literally the air we breathe. So there's no reason why you're over there looking at Trump. You're taking these dollars. He's really not cutting dollars in the areas that I just mentioned at all. Okay? Yes, there have been talks, even when he was president before, about him not wanting to fund low income opportunities. But at the end of the day, he never did it. He just said, we don't want these people to live in this area. Like, people really fought that, lobbied against it and everything. Now he's really, and even the Biden administration, they were focused on They were laser focused on looking at the middle class. So a lot of the funding now is how can we help our firefighters, our teachers, our principals that can't afford to work, live, and play in the communities that they actually work in, right?
Yeah.
So that has been the shift. I'm not worried about Trump. Y'all shouldn't be worried about him. This DEI situation, it really didn't benefit as many black people as you thought it did. It really benefited LGBTQ and white women. Now, the Jews. They just added Jews in that category as a minority. which we know they the majority realistically. That's a whole nother thing. And
When this happened?
it just happened like this 2025. So now when you think of minority women business enterprise, now you got to add a Jewish person on there, women and men.
Yo, that's
Okay.
crazy.
So y'all worried about the wrong stuff. Get focused.
So-
Apply yourself. Make sure your paperwork is right. Go after these opportunities because now you already know hey Jewish friends, you know I love y'all. But the other,
I know you know them in Newark. I know
Yeah,
you've worked with them in Newark.
we can do a whole podcast on that. But anyway, stop worrying about what other people are doing. The black dollar needs to stay in the black community. That's the point.
So obviously we have Millionaire Essentials, right? But the first thing I want people to pay attention to, it starts with ME. So we put ME on everything. It starts with me. It starts with you. No matter what's going on currently, it has to start with you. And a lot of great things that you're currently doing, not only you have the experience, you know how to access the capital, you're actually doing it in real time. You're a black woman, a young, successful black woman. You told us you was doing a walkthrough, a modular home walkthrough before you came here.
Yeah.
So you have programs, because we've been on your tours and things of that nature. So you're in a space right now of teaching. Tell us about the programs you have and the opportunities that you're now giving.
Yeah. So we do have 2 real estate communities right now. We have the 0 to developer community. And that was basically me showing you how I went from 0 to developer. We created a cohort. It was like a 5-week program. We extended it. So we now have like other developer experts come in and teach and pour into all of us, give us encouragement and show us like, listen, I could get this done. I got it done. You can get it done. And then we have another program called the First Deal Blueprint where I'm showing you how to just get money in real estate, period. So I started out as a wholesaler.
Okay.
I did rehabs. Then I went to development, right? So wherever you are, even if you have to be a bird dog or a referral person, right? Helping people find parcels of land or whatever, flipping land, flipping paper. I'm showing you how to get money in real estate overall. We have a lot of realtors in that community. We have a lot of just regular people that are just trying to understand, how do I get into real estate? How do I start making money? How do I partner properly? How do I raise capital? Literally this month we'll be focusing on raising private capital. So you don't have to run your social. You don't have to go bother Tevin and Brandon for money. And get in their face, pitch that same real estate proposal to these people that have the money. Pitch your project to the right people. So it's been great. We do a lot of property tours on my projects and or my development team's projects. We have, like you said, we went to a modular plant tour today and facility. We were able to see how they're building out these homes in a climate controlled environment. Then they'll put it on a flatbed and deliver it to the hood, like to Newark, to Philly. They deliver anywhere from Maine all the way down to Virginia homes, right?
Wow, that's crazy.
Pre-built.
Yeah.
So that's pre-built, modular homes.
It's pre-built. It typically, depending on the plant, it will be about 70 to 85% completed on
And then
arrival.
obviously, is MEPs, the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, that's all done already?
That's all done already.
It just
yeah.
needs to be tied in.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Cabinets.
Has AI affected your business, and are you using AI in any way to kind of scale?
That's a good question. As of right now, it has not affected my business at all.
Okay.
Yeah. I wish they had more AI building solutions outside of of course, like I don't want to say modular is AI because it's technically not.
What about a 3D printing?
I was about to get into that. You took the words out of my mouth. So 3D printing is monopolized right now. It's very hard to start a 3D. Trust me, I've looked into it. But realistically, if you do network with the right people, I think you can get into that space if you had like $5 million. Like you can get the pattern, you can buy the printing machines, things of that nature. Right now, the best thing to do is just probably partner with who's doing it at this time. And but I think that is going to be a game changer if we developers, especially black developers, can get our hands on it.
Okay.
And start manufacturing things ourselves.
And stick
together. I think we would definitely be able to provide more affordable housing solutions. Not even think, I know. One of my good friends, she's actually building, I think 1,000 3D printed homes right now in
1,000?
Texas. Yeah, she.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
In
she's
Texas?
yeah.
Oh, wow.
So she partnered with a 3D company. It's not like she went and bought the machine herself. Like I was trying to do. I'm like, how do I get this machine? Because it's literally like a cartridge that's pouring out concrete, and it's just going back and forth until the house is built.
It's a $5 million investment.
At the time, like every year it goes up, but I'm gonna say it's about $5 million at this point. Yeah,
That's crazy. That's insane. Right there. $5 million.
She could probably get a grant for that. Knowing her,
And I was
she
gonna
probably
say,
gonna mess around and get a grant for that.
And I might shout out to Whitney.
Knowing you.
Whitney, go find a grant so we can get some
Right.
some modular printed, not modular. What is this?
3D
printing cartridges, because it's literally like a printer.
Okay.
An oversized printer printing out concrete.
Okay, so perfect. So you have the program, right? You have the one-on-one, you have the community, right? What would you say, right? Let's say if somebody came into your community right now, right? Do you feel like a person that, obviously fix and flip is very popularized, right, in the real estate space, especially if you're on Instagram, so, or any social media. And now I'm starting to see more developers come out and start talking more about development, but they're not really talking about the cost and things like that. Yeah. If you had an option to point somebody in the direction of, they came into your community, they have great credit, and they want to get into real estate of some form, would you put them down that wholesale route? Would you put them down the fix and flip route? Or would you put them down that development route?
Right now, you have to have cash flow. If you don't have cash flow, you're not in business.
Right.
So whether the cash flow is coming from your job, your 9 to 5, or you started buying investment properties, you're house hacking, whatever the case may be, you need to have some type of positive cash flow that you can rely on to live.
Right.
Okay. It depends on the scenario. If you don't have no money, if you don't have no credit, of course I'm going to tell you to wholesale.
Yes.
You do have to understand real estate, though. You do need to know how to partner and structure deals and have a good understanding of what you're doing. Wholesaling pretty much taught me a lot about what I know about development and partnerships and equity, right? So starting in wholesaling, I would advise it if you're starting with zero. However, if you're starting with a job and you have good credit, you should be reaching out to business funding specialists like Tevin and Brandon. Leverage your social, leverage your job. There's even funding. I don't know if y'all do it, but there's, banks that will give you up to $500,000.
Yeah.
If you got your tax returns and you make money. So you can always leverage other people's money. You can also go with the idea of leveraging the regular banks. So what I was going to mention earlier is there are banks out there that will allow you, and Tevin mentioned it, FHA, 3.5% down. But if you buy it in a raw area, you could do 0% down.
That's the USDA, right?
USDA
Yeah.
or VA, right? I'm not sure if NACA is doing land acquisition like that. It's called a permanent construction loan. I'm not sure if they're doing it yet, but look into it. I don't work for NACA. But with that being said, there are other banks that will allow you to do development with 5% down. I only really share that with my community. But I'm sharing it here. 5% down is 5% down. Yes, you do have to have tax returns. Okay, so it's not going to be a no-doc loan. And yes, they do want to see that you own an existing property already, which is okay, right? But if you can right now, if you want to get into a development deal, 5% down, that's all you need.
Right.
Your builder is going to have to be the best builder, though.
Right.
They do look at your builder's experience, but they don't leverage the builder's social or they don't make them personal guarantee.
It just goes based upon the investor.
Right. So even if you had no experience,
Right.
they're looking at your builder's experience, and they're only going to want 5% down.
Wow.
Which is great.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you always coming across new programs. You put me onto a program before that you can do 100% financing on a fix and flip.
Yes.
As well as even on a new development, but it depends on certain areas.
Yes, and I was going to say that too. We also have For those who are homeowners, there's other programs outside of NACA, outside of VA and USDA, where they'll do 100% FHA as well. So you don't even need that 3.5%.
She be having them. I be calling her all the time.
That's what's great. That's what's great about Deonte, right? Because a lot of times she's been on all sides of the fence, right? And a lot of times we fall into what's easy and what's fast. So especially when I started learning about real estate, a lot of people that look like me were wholesalers. They were flipping. We all know once you stop doing that work, the money stops. But I think if we're taught developing, coming in the game, and we're taught to really do it on that high level, on the ground level, and ownership and equity, if we're taught that from the beginning, our mindset and value will be a lot further, and we will be a lot further wealth-wise. But a lot of us fall in love with that fast cash or that fast money and constantly doing that work. But you're already looking at it. You're getting multi-million-dollar projects in other cities because you came in with that mindset, oh, this is where I want to be. How did you stay on that path and stay focused through all of your personal and business trials and tribulations as a woman?
Well, I will say is you need to know who you are. I think a lot of people want to be everybody else. Like, social media has created this cult, literally I'm using the word cult, like environment where, I want to be like this because I saw this person doing that. Who are you? Like, who are you? Stop trying to be like me. Stop trying to be like Tevin. Stop trying to be like Brandon. Who are you? And I tell people this, even when they about to pay me a couple $1,000s to work with me, why do you want to be a real estate developer? Do you want to do it because you see me doing it, or did God call you to do it? Because that's what it comes down to. Because if you're trying to follow behind me, you'll end up in a ditch somewhere. Literally. I hate to say it like that. You'll end up with losing your shirt, your head, because you can't even deal with the pressure of being a generational bloodline breaker, like curse breaker. You know what I'm saying? Like, this stuff is real. Like, trying to build generational wealth is not for the faint at heart, right? So who told you that you should be a real estate developer or an investor? Cool, we want to do, we want to build wealth, we want to build legacy and all that stuff, but you have to really know that you're supposed to be doing it. I knew God put that desire in my heart when I was 23 years old, living in the middle of Newark, sleeping on an airbed with my baby father, right? I knew that. Like, I knew that I was supposed to do real estate. So when I lost everything, God literally had to show me, Mama, you're about to get, like, he literally showed me like a HUD statement in my dream with like $500,000. Like, literally, that's how he showed it to me. So I didn't go back to working 9 to 5 because I was about to go back and work as a paralegal because I actually have a college degree.
That was one thing you said, though, manifesting. Everybody, a lot of people that comes up here talk about manifesting.
So
that is powerful.
Let's talk about manifesting because it could get a little gray. So I believe in I believe in kingdom manifestation, not this new age manifestation. But again, it comes back to knowing your purpose, knowing why you're supposed to be doing it. And yes, everything that God has stored up for us in heaven, he does want us to pull it down. We should be able to live like we're in heaven on earth, literally. We shouldn't be waiting to get to heaven to experience heaven. So God doesn't want us to be poor. He doesn't want us to be sick, whatever, because people have different thoughts on that, right?
Right.
So with that being said, as far as I'm concerned, God wants me to be wealthy. So this is why the Bible says he gives us strategy, or he gives us the power to create wealth. Deuteronomy 8:18, literally, it says that. So if you're giving me the power to create wealth, you're going to give me the strategy, you're going to give me the wisdom, you're going to give me the tools, you're going to speak to me and say, hey, go work with that builder because that builder is going to get you out your jam. That is what people should be focusing on. If you just sit down on your bed looking up at your ceiling and say, yeah, I manifested, I'm going to get this, you're never going to get it. You're going to be in the same situation that you was 2 years before. You're going to be signing up for all these programs, thinking that these mentors are going to save you.
Yeah.
If you don't show up for yourself, you're never going to make it. That's it. Even my mentees, I tell them, if you don't show up for class, if you don't put in the work, faith without works is dead. Like, it's not working. Even me, if I don't show up for myself, it ain't going to happen. Could you not? When that Chicago proposal was due, I was actually dealing with a spirit of like heaviness and depression. It was the week before my birthday, 3 days before my birthday, it was due. And I just started feeling like very depressed. I don't know what that was about. But what I will say is I had to keep pushing through. I submitted it. Now I know why I had to fight whatever that was in the spirit.
Right.
Because I was about to win 5 lots for $5. That's what happened, right? That was the outcome. But imagine if I didn't show up for myself. And I'm like, I don't feel like doing this. I don't want to do this. I wouldn't be a winner of these 5 lots for $5.
That's amazing.
It get real. But I did want to say something too. When it comes to development, you can develop and you can cash flow. Okay?
Talk about that.
The idea is that you get the parcel of land from Newark or whatever city this is. Some of them will allow you to keep it. You don't have to resell it to a homeowner occupant. Sometimes you can keep it. Now, in this case, you're going to build it out and you're going to refinance the loan.
Yep.
And then you can switch that loan from the construction loan over to the 30 to 40-year mortgage rental loan.
Okay.
Now, a lot of y'all don't know about this, but they do have a 40-year rental portfolio loan.
Yes.
And even if FHA is doing it too. But now the bridge loan lenders are doing it. So that helps you recoup some of your money that you're losing with these high interest rates, right? And that'll allow you to have more money for cash flow every month. So you build these projects out, you do your refi cash out, so you can pull your equity out, whatever equity is in there. Most cases, that's going to be a 5 to 6 figure check back in your pocket that you can, tax-free money that you can reinvest in another project. And then you get to keep the project, the house, and cash flow it every month.
Gotcha.
Okay? So now you could put your, no, I don't recommend cash tenants right now, y'all. I'm sorry. Cash tenants be wildin'. But you could put your Section 8 tenants. You could make it a group home. You could do whatever you need to do to cash flow and make money and keep that project in your portfolio.
And the reason why you're saying Section 8 group home, because that's government money, right? That's basically, nothing's guaranteed, but basically a guaranteed check, right?
Government-backed programs. I hinted at earlier that I'm doing a 24-unit with the city. I want another RFP.
Oh, my God. RFP, back to back to back.
RFP queen. But I want to... You're so funny.
How much have you developed to this date? How much real estate have you developed?
We have a lot of projects in the pipeline. So I have like in Kansas City alone.
Value-wise, how much have you developed?
The number is low, but what I have in the pipeline is crazy. But right now we're approaching 20 million in development. It doesn't seem like a lot because to me it's not a lot, but by the grace of God,
she said the number is low. 20 million is not a lot.
But,
that's not. She said the number is low.
Wait, no,
20 million. That's not a lot.
Because I'm grateful for it.
Right. The rooms that you're in.
But the projects that are coming, these are like
massive,
right? But they all started because I leveraged that designation for Newark. They wouldn't even know where I was if I didn't say, hey, I'm a designated developer from the city of Newark. And I had a letter showing it, right? People embrace me in other regions in this country. So in Kansas City, we have over 500 units in the pipeline for pre-development.
So
wow.
To date,
okay,
with your proposed and builds that you've done.
It's about 20 million right now. We have this 24-unit building that we're building in Newark. I can't stand him. So we have, y'all, this is unfiltered. So we won an RFP with the city of Newark. And
there's a reason why I'm looking like this. I'll tell you later.
I thought I told you this.
No, it's cool.
Oh, you know what happened? When we did the brunch tour, we didn't get to go to my property. I showcased everybody else's stuff and not mine. Because I'm that person. I just want you to get value. But anyway, we have It be own people's, Brandon. Just know that. We have a old medical building that we're converting into a 24-unit, 100% affordable housing project. It's not just me, myself, but it is my nonprofit and another nonprofit and another developer. We'll be creating these 24 units for kids and teens that are aging out of foster care.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm very excited about that project, and I'm looking to do it in other cities through my nonprofit as well, and do other transitional homes or housing solutions for women coming out of prison, women that are survivors of domestic violence and human sex trafficking. Like, that's what I'm passionate about. So I do believe that you'll see more of that from me.
Hold on, Brandon, I got this. What's the value?
She said about 20 million.
No.
So the value of that project is going to be, I think, the construction budget is like 10 million. That one, I think it's about like 15 million, 20 million. It'll be worth it.
Okay.
No,
cool.
like 15 million.
And then the 500 unit project.
Oh, that one is about probably $500 million.
So that's the future of
That's the
Deonte.
future, yeah.
Give me a second. I just want to find something out. And in Chicago, it's,
So any of you who want to invest in my projects, reach out to me on LinkedIn and social media.
and then Chicago, you got
Chicago, that's a very special project. We're still running the number. So we purchased that
$5.
five lots for $5. It will be about 12 units.
Mm-hmm.
So it's 3 2 units and 2 3 units.
Mm-hmm.
We can build up to 4 units per lot, but we're not doing all that. But make a long story short, because we are hiring through prevailing wage and individuals that work with unions and live in a city and all that stuff, it is bringing our construction budget pretty high. That's where the grants come in at. We're getting the $1.8 million in grants. This particular project, I can't put out the price because I can't tell you the price of what I'm selling it for, but we will be making a good profit, almost 7 figures. Did that answer the question?
No,
Yes,
you got
that
any
I
more?
can't because it's classified government.
No, I know you absolutely right and all that.
I can't
So
say that.
before
You know what that
before
means, right?
What?
that we're not in on it.
Yeah,
That's yeah.
Oh, you found out.
Yeah,
found
yeah,
out what
yeah.
I was okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
Well,
We're
all
just
right.
now
So
finding out.
It's
So
cool.
Tevin has known me for over a year now.
Oh, she gonna do this?
He has come to property tours.
Oh, she
He's
gonna
met
do
my
this.
builders.
Okay. Yeah, she
He's
gonna
met
do
my
this.
partners. And he has yet, well, he's going to pay his invoice. So we put him on blast.
There you go. Tell him.
No, we're going
Deonte,
to be,
tell
we're
him.
gonna be
No,
working
tell him.
with
Tell him.
Millionaire Essentials. Hopefully Brandon as well.
No,
right?
Brandon is involved.
Okay.
Yes.
So God willing, we'll be writing their proposal. They'll be winning some land before third quarter.
Cody, you hear this, right?
Cody,
Alright, cool.
you know, he can get some land too. Got to write a proposal, of course. So hopefully before the end of third quarter, you have some of your own land. I'm not gonna put it on blast where you're gonna apply for, but yeah, let's get to work. Let's go.
And we getting that Deonte Chanel money. Let's
Boy,
go.
I tell you. All right, so perfect. So now that we found out you basically you about to be up soon. The next
Don't
5
tell everybody that.
Oh yeah.
playing.
Anybody else that's listening, don't listen.
Play it, play it.
But the next 5-year plan, right? Your 5-year plan. What does your
Jesus.
5-year plan look like? For
Oh, she
Deonte?
kind of
I'm
just basically broke that down.
What?
But
Yeah,
go ahead.
so-
No, but
Continue on
So
that.
I started
Yeah.
this process 2019.
Mhm.
2019, I had a business consultant come to me. He said, you need to do a couple things. And I don't even like sharing stuff like this because I feel like because I'm not executing on it, other people will take the idea. But it's okay.
But
we need more
one thing-
Deontes out there. So
Exactly.
I'm not mad.
One thing you said, I don't want to glance over a business consultant you were working with.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
had guidance and
You had
mentorship.
I did. I had
Yes.
this other folk. I had 2 at the time. I had a black guy and I had a white guy.
Was he
The
Jewish?
white guy, he wasn't Jewish. The white guy, he might listen to this one day. He actually helped Newark start a land bank.
Wow.
He helped start the Detroit land bank. He helped start the Kansas City land bank. So these were high profile people. If we would have continued to work together, I would be backed by like some of the biggest bankers in the country. But what happens is they start to want to control you. Now you're the show pony, right? So we got to be careful with that. And it's like, oh, you better do what I say do. Who you talking to? We ain't doing that. Now, I had to separate from them, which was cool. But what he did tell me is, listen, you need to start a podcast. We did that. 2020, we started the journey to develop her podcast. He told me I need to start a real estate fund. That's in the works. I was able to raise capital without the fund, you know, and do my projects regardless. But I do think it's time to start my real estate fund. There's so much I want to do. I don't really want to say it because I feel like, again, if I say it, people are going to be like, oh, let me do that before you do it. But right now, I'm walking in my purpose. As I'm lifting, as I'm climbing, I'm lifting others with me. That's the main thing. 5 years ago, I wanted to help other Black people become real estate developers. I can proudly say that by the grace of God, I was able to do that. Right.
And that's every time I see you, you doing your tours. There's nothing but us in the room. You giving nothing but value.
Yep. Whether they want to execute or not, there's at least 20% that have executed, that have won land.
Yep.
The others, they coming. But that was my goal 5 years ago when I had nothing. When I was just trying to go through the process myself, I was still trying to teach people how to do it. So I'm living in my purpose with that. The next 5 years is all about making sure we're building out more units. We're making sure that our women and men are equipped to build these houses. We shouldn't have to go to other races to build our communities. We actually built this country. So the goal is to make sure we have the proper tools in place, the proper training in place, the proper infrastructure. God willing, I can start my own modular plant. That was the goal back in 2019 also. I don't put that out there. Now y'all know. There's another man that is doing that in Chicago. He built one in Chicago probably 2 years ago. And the goal for me is to make sure we're building our own ecosystem. Our people have jobs, whether they're coming out of jail or not. It don't even matter if they're coming out of jail. We're teaching them a trade. They're able to work in this environment. And we can do this throughout the country in all urban areas. Right. Build out these modular plants and just make sure that the Black dollars are continuing to flow in our communities.
Yes.
That's important to me. So that's my vision over the next 5 years. Oh, we're going to Africa. We're going to be in Ghana.
Let's save that. Let's save that for another episode because there's a bunch of questions I want to ask on that.
I have a lot.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, next podcast.
But you're developing in Ghana, right?
God willing, we'll be doing Ghana. Yeah.
What was I telling you before?
Yeah. Yes, you were.
Yeah. And that's I've met some brothers in Christ who reached out to me and they're connected with the government. So everything I do is partnering with governments and municipalities. And now we're going to be doing that in Ghana. So
partnering, networking, that's key, what you just said. Before we do get out of here, right? Because you make it look too easy. You make it look easy. All the stuff that you're doing. That's what I want you to kind of break down for the people. What are the pitfalls? If I'm young, I'm out here looking to get into developing. What are some of the pitfalls that I need to look out for not to lose my shirt?
Yeah, you have to be very discerning. Most of the places people lose money is in the construction process. Excuse me. So if we went to vetting the contractor earlier. If you're not hiring well, if your builder or you are not managing grown adults properly, you're going to lose money. You're going to lose a lot of money. There's a lot of projects that are upside down. There are a lot of projects that they not getting to the finish line because the construction teams suck. The project managers suck. Yeah. The builders suck.
Nobody's managing the time properly.
Right. No one cares. They line in their pockets. They don't care that you got to feed your family. And this is your livelihood, right?
Right.
So you want to make sure you're hiring people that genuinely care about you, love you, but make sure that their paperwork is in order. There's so many pitfalls in development. You want to make sure you're doing your due diligence, that you're buying well, that you're doing your environmental tests and your surveys and things of that nature. You're doing your oil tank sweeps if you're in New Jersey. Just making sure you're doing the homework. Just don't be like, hey, I want to buy land. I want to be like Dionte, or I want to be like these other people. And you're really not taking it serious because you will get got quickly. You will lose your shirt. You will be sad. What I will say is do not blow your money. If you know you have money allocated for your projects, people ask you for money, you don't have it, okay? Don't say you broke because we don't want to jinx yourself, but you don't have it. You don't have the money for this. It's for what it is for. I've been in situations with partners where they have all this money saved and then emergencies do happen. But guess what? This project still has to go on.
Yep.
They let their credit go down. Make sure you're remaining healthy when it comes to your finances.
Discipline.
Yep.
Discipline is important. Budgeting is important. Mentorship is important.
Super.
I even have mentors. I don't know everything. I even have mentors.
And you dealing with multi-millions.
Right. I have
soon to be billions.
I have financial mentors. I have spiritual mentors. First of all, you got to make sure your spirit is right. You have to make sure you have your personal, the way you think about yourself is in order. Because if you think you suck, you're broke, you're poor, you're ugly, whatever Celie said in the movie, guess what? You're going to operate out of that spirit and out of that space. And you're not going to think you're worthy of what you're trying to get. This is why mentorship don't work for some people. Because we got to come in there and reprogram your whole mind about how you feel about yourself.
And that's what I tell people. Is a lot of times it's not the mentor, it's you.
Yes.
A lot of people think
me, right?
Exactly,
Yes.
It's me. That's the first thing you gotta look at. It's me. Before we do wrap up, give them your socials, the tours, everything you got going on, where they could tap in with you.
Yes. You can find me on LinkedIn, Deonte Chantel White. You can find me on Instagram at Deonte Chantel. That's DionteChantel. Also, I have a podcast as well, Journey to Develop Her, on YouTube. We have a website, journeytodevelopher.com. I almost forgot. I want to give you all a free checklist on how to get your first profitable deal. You can go to thefirstdealblueprint.com/checklist. And if you go to the link in the bio, you'll see all of my links on how to get connected with me.
We'll put it below, right?
Yeah,
We're gonna put that checklist below this episode, so you can find Deonte, so you can see her checklist to get your first deal. This has been a great episode. You dropped a lot of great gems for people out there that need that help, that need to stay focused, and that can be successful. Appreciate you, Deonte.
Thank you for having me. I love you guys. These are my bros. So if y'all need y'all funding, make sure you tap in.
Thank you.
And we're going to send you right back to Deonte to make some money.
Exactly. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, subscribe. Make sure you turn on your notifications. And I'm going to say it again. Subscribe. Hit the little bell below, wherever the subscribe button is at. Listen, y'all, we appreciate you. We appreciate you for taking your time out to listen to this amazing interview about how you can get started in real estate, whether you have good credit, no credit, or you have $0. Thank you, guys. My name is Tevin. It's my partner, Brandon.
Brandon Provada. This is another episode of Millionaire Essentials Podcast. We see y'all soon.